Hello, this video will cover how to complete exercise 23-8 on Excel. First thing I'm going to do is I have Excel launched, so I'm just going to go ahead and do exercise 23-8, and this can be found in your textbook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up from the ebook, and if you did not get a chance, I just strongly recommend or encourage you to go to page 903 and check out the Catch a Wave story. For those of you that have Etsy shops or doing small online businesses, you might find this very interesting in terms of how they're setting their price and figuring out if they should make or buy. So a lot of decisions that business owners have to make, not just eliminating unprofitable segments, but also changing your suppliers. So let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to go ahead and look at exercise 8. And if you need some help, there is a section in your textbook called Segment Elimination. You can read that or review that again. If not, we're going to go ahead and go to the exercises. Click on exercises, and we're going to go down to number 8. And of course, RTQ, read the question. Marin company makes several products, includes canoes, and they report a loss from its canoe segments. See below, all its variable costs are avoidable, and 300,000 of its fixed costs are avoidable. So only a portion of them can be avoided. Part A, compute the income increase or decrease from eliminating the segment. And then B, answer this question, should this segment be eliminated? And make sure you tell why. So let's go ahead and get started. We're just going to use this information. And so I'm going to go ahead and start with Marin Company. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call this segment elimination analysis. And it doesn't have to be exactly like it is. We don't have a date, so I'm just going to go with our major columns. So we'll have our amounts here, and then we'll go over. I like to skip a column. We're going to do if we continue. So our first course of action is continue as is, and then if we decide to eliminate the canoe line, that's given us a net loss. What's it going to look like? And then finally, that last column that tells us the impact on our income. So income, if it will cause an increase to the income, it'll be a positive number. And if it's a negative amount, that causes a decrease. And again, we're reading from left to right, so that's comparing to continue versus eliminate. So how does that impact our net income? And then I like to have this all the same. So for those of you that may not know, you can actually go to your format cells by right-clicking on the box, and then you go to alignment, and then look down under text control, go to wrap text, and then OK, and that will allow you to put that into the same cell feature. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started, and we're going to list our cells, our variable costs, and we're just recreating our reports for our amount so we can compare the two on our two courses of action to help make our decision. And then fixed costs, and then income, and then loss in parentheses. So that's all we're going to do. And I'm going to show you another cool feature. Double click between the A and the B, or wherever column you have it, and it'll automatically extend it to the largest item. And I don't want it quite that large, so I'm going to go as wide as the contribution margin, because that segment elimination analysis is a little bit longer. All right, and then go ahead and just write down the information or data entry, the information. We got 980, 123, 700, and this is the difference between the cells minus the variable costs. And then we have our fixed costs of 340, 123, and then our final income will be the contribution minus the fixed costs. And then as always, we want to make sure our items are properly formatted. So you'll notice here I'm just going and looking for the comma format, and I'm going to do 0 cents, so round to the nearest whole dollar. And then right click. Before I do that, I'm going to also select the first and the last. All I'm going to do is click on the first one, press the control key, and then this works on a PC. I'm not sure exactly how to do it on a MacBook. Now I have these two boxes selected. Right click, and I'm going to select dollar, and again decrease the number of decimals, and that should be the format that I need. And if I want to do my formatting, I just go ahead and select, right click again, select the borders options, top single, bottom double, and then I did a computation up here, so I'm going to right click on that box and do a single line again, and it should be in the format. And the cool thing is that now that I have this information, I can save myself a few steps by just dragging it over, and then when I go and delete all this information out, it will have the formatting I need in the other two fields. And if you want to go and get it, presentable, you can do your center however you want to format it, but that's not really necessary. But if you were doing this for a job, this might be something that would make your work look better for your boss. All right, so next we have, if we continue as is, everything is going to remain exactly the same. So if we eliminate it, it says that what's going to happen? We're going to get rid of the cells, of course, because this includes their canoeing, so that ends up being 0. And then all the variable costs are avoidable, so that too is 0, so contribution margin is 0. But it says in our directions, costs are avoidable and 300 of its fixed costs are avoidable. So here we're going to put 40,000 since we're avoiding the 340, so that's just taking the 340 minus the 300,000, and you'll see the difference. And then if you see those little number signs again, you can just double click up here after the column it is, and then you'll see the difference here. And then for the final one, because it's comparing the two, is you want to see what happens if we what happens if we do this change. So we're going to go ahead and compare the location of the income for eliminating. If we eliminate it, we're going to subtract it against the continue. Now remember that when you subtract a negative number, it converts it to a positive number. So you'll notice that by taking negative 40,000 minus negative 60,000 is actually saying negative 40 plus 60. So by going from continue to eliminating, we will save $20,000 towards the income. So what that means is our loss won't be as large. So we're seeing an additional increase. There still is a loss, so you need to find something to do with that additional fixed cost of 40,000 that is still being incurred. And that's it. And so that's letter A. So I'll just make sure I clearly mark that. And then letter B says what? Should the segment be eliminated? So you simply just put in there B, the segment should be eliminated. And why? Because your income will increase by the 20,000 or 20K. So by the $20,000. And that's it. That concludes this video, and remember, today is a great day to learn accounting.